There we go. Now everyone knows we're recording.
Hi, Team
Welcome, everyone.
Go-Givers. We're so happy to be with you on our favorite night of the week, Wednesday.
Yes.
It's going to be at this time from now on, so
Yep.
that's good.
Moved it a little earlier.
Kim can go to bed earlier, which is good. I know. It's like, who stays up till 10? Nobody, unless you're Johnny and he stays up till 3 a.m. because he has to, because we're talking to him all night.
Yeah.
Welcome to the call. I mean, we've only been here, what, 4 or 5 weeks doing these calls. I know, it's so fun.
Yeah.
So we hope they add massive value to you. What we're going to do tonight, we're going to start our meeting with wins, like we always do. We're going to kick it over to the Go-Giver of the Week, which we have a special Go-Giver of the Week for you to share with you their tips and tricks for what's working. And then we have some training from Johnny and the G-Man, Johnny and Garth Oaksel. And then we're going to open up for questions and discussion, and we'll stick around for that. We've done quite a number of trainings on skills-based trainings and kind of the nitty-gritty. And this week, we're going to be talking about the more motivational kind of confidence issue. Okay, so tonight's training is going to be one of those. But before we dive in, let's start with wins. And here, we just want to hear a 10-second win from whoever wants to share. And a win is anything and everything. It's how many no's you got, how many yeses you got. If you reached out to someone that you were kind of scared to do it, if you're surprising yourself and keeping the promises you're making to yourself, whatever it is, we want to hear it. So let's go. Unmute yourself and share a win. Oh my gosh,
Johnny's
Johnny.
jumping all over this.
Can I go first? I just want to start it off by saying, seriously, thanks to you and this beautiful team. I hit 700 people in my team this week.
Nice.
So it's
congratulations.
It's taking on a life of its own. It really is. And that's what happens. And I think that's always what I say to people, just get through the first 6 months. Just get through the first 2 months, 3 months, get through that grind, and it takes on a life of its own. Love you guys. Thank you.
Yes. Awesome.
We
Johnny.
love you, Johnny. You're so deserving.
So Caitlin's got some babies in the background that might be a little hungry or tired. But
Caitlin, 27 or 28 enrollments. I mean, she's been here for freaking 72 hours. So, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
And
unbelievable.
I think it's funny. 27 or maybe 28. Could be 29 now.
I think her name's Caitlin. I think I've been saying it wrong all this time.
Yeah.
Oh, we're so inspired by you. So proud of you.
Yep. Congratulations. Anyone else? Anyone have a whole bunch of no's they rang up? Because we know we got to get through those no's. Yeah. Aaron has a list of
no's today. I'm like, excellent. Just tell me yes or no. Just tell me. Okay, go ahead.
Susan unmuted.
Go ahead.
Yes, I've had some no's, but I'm having some progress again. I was kind of out of the loop due to some family stuff for about a week and a half. And my journey was I'm plugging back in this week.
Yes.
So,
wonderful.
Yep. And so I have 3 on the fence that I'm going to tip over tomorrow.
Oops.
One way or the other. Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
I love it.
Anyone else have anything they'd like to share?
Anything surprising you or making you so happy about LiveGood? We want to hear that.
I'll say one more thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited about your 300. And Johnny, did you say 700? Okay. I'm excited for you guys.
Well,
thank you, Susan.
Yes.
We're excited too. Oh my gosh. 3 of Caitlin's girls went bronze.
Awesome.
Absolutely amazing. Bronze is the #1 rank here, right? It opens up the compensation plan, and we just want to become a bronze producing factory of awesomeness. Okay.
Absolutely.
Like it's just helping your people get to that's it.
Welcome.
You want to focus on.
Welcome, Chris. Chris, it's Chris's first call here. So welcome.
Oh, welcome.
I'm glad you're here as well.
All right, let's kick it over to Johnny, who is going to introduce and interview the Go-Giver of the Week.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
And you know what? Every now and again, every day we're meeting all sorts of people from all sorts of all walks of life, right? Some that have been in the industry, some that haven't, some that know what they're doing, some that don't, whatever, right? But every now and again, you come across someone And that's what's happened to that's what's happened in this case, right? You come across someone who's just, not far from you, just, in Melbourne, away from all the, and Melbourne's Australia's not an easy market, right? Because we've got a few other things too that we need to contend with shipping and whatever. But sometimes someone puts all that stuff and negativity behind them and says, you know what, this is about building a team. This is about launching a team into, into so many countries. And against all odds, I'm just going to hit it. Someone understands that it's all about the numbers. And, I've got to hand it to Sarah for just grinding, man, seriously, just sending me messages every day at 11 p.m. saying, I'm not going to bed until I get my 40 messages out. And I get emotional because I think that's what it takes. It really does. I know we talk about bronze and get the two, and that's in a perfect world that would happen. But seriously, Sarah, I've got to just clap, and I'm really excited that you've just gone. You made silver, and you're doing the numbers, man. So look, congratulations. Share some stuff here, a little bit about you, but just some of the little tips. What are some of the things that you can share, you reckon? Unmute.
Unmute. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Sarah.
Thanks, Johnny. Oh my God. Okay, a little bit about me. I've done a few network marketing things before. I had a little bit success in one of them, but that was mainly because I stumbled across a few rock stars that came underneath me. And so my team grew extremely quickly, but not because of me recruiting. And I had a lot of stories in my head about reaching out to people, and I feel like I was telling stories about why people weren't getting back to me. And I think that that's what's switched for me here. Enrolling 10 people in just over 7 weeks, like that has just blown me away. It's more than I've ever done before. So it's super exciting. And when I started, I was like keeping track of how many people I was seeing. Like I had little cross marks of who I was talking to. But what I found was that it was the follow-ups that I was missing. And I suppose anyone's heard, the fortunes in the follow-up, but that kind of makes me feel a little bit, but what if we flip that and said the blessings are in the follow-ups? And I really like that, because this is a blessing. And this is something that we're helping people with, and we're giving them, we're the ones with the gifts. We're not asking them to do anything. We're not, pleading with them, begging them, nothing. We have a gift for them. And I think that's been my little flip. So then I started writing everybody's names in for who I was speaking to, because then once I sent the link, I would highlight it. And it meant that I had a visual of not just numbers of how many people I was sending the links to, I had a visual of their name. And then I could flick back and go, okay, have I spoken to that person again? And that's when I really stopped. I think it was you, Dr. Erin, that put that little follow-up thing in, and it had day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. So, oh my God, thank you for that. Bloody awesome. And I really love the one that says, love your friendly stalker. I was a little bit funny to send that, and I thought, you know what, I don't care. It's working for Dr. Erin, so why can't it work for me? So I just went, I don't know, I'll just send it. I even sent a message to Johnny the other day saying, these people are they're pre-enrolling, but then ghosting me. Like, am I doing something wrong? And well, kind of, because I wasn't following up with them. I was making stories up in my head about, oh, they don't want to do it, they're not interested. And that's where I think the last 2 were from people that had not got back to me. And when I sent that friendly stalker message, they had a little giggle, and they're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. They ended up apologizing to me for not getting back. And with this big long message about what's been going on in their life. and saying, I'm so sorry, I'll go and enroll now. Like, I'm really sorry, it's taken me so long. I'm like, what? Sorry, I snort. So yes, I wanted to thank you, Dr. Erin, for that, because that gave me the real kick up the pants. And the other thing that I was listening to the other day, car university, oh my God. When you're in the car, listen to podcasts, listen to trainings, listen to everything. Like, I don't listen to the radio anymore. I don't watch TV. I get into bed, I send my messages, but I'll have a little podcast on. And it really just feeds your brain. I love it. Oh my God, my cat's going nuts. But I heard something the other day and it said, don't be an asshole. And I went, oh, what do you mean by that? And it was, don't ask for help and don't ask for things to implement if you're not going to implement them. So if you hear these things and you go, oh, wow, that's really cool, make sure you implement it. So just get out there and do it. So that's it for me. And I got myself a new diary and I put some little sparkly things on it because it was very boring. So I've got some unicorns and some sparkles and they glow in the dark too. Yay. And the other thing that I did was every time I get a highlight, I write it on the following day's page so that I've got my little follow-up section. So nobody gets left behind. And that's my biggest tip. Don't leave anyone behind and don't make up any stories.
Love it. Absolutely love it. And you do the numbers.
Wow.
You got to do the numbers.
BAM, which is my bare ass minimum. So my BAM for the day is 20. And I can actually do that in 15 minutes.
Yes.
So I've worked out that I can go into a group and just, if I'm focused, because I do get very sidetracked, I'm like a magpie with shiny things. If I'm focused, I can do it in 15 minutes. So there's no excuses. I work full time. I have 3 autistic boys. I have lots of appointments that I need to get them to. I have to have a routine that needs to be sticked to. If I don't stick to a routine, it causes meltdowns in my house. So I can't just ignore the boys as much as I'd love to.
You're a legend.
I can't just ignore them.
My gosh.
So yeah, like the other night, I hadn't done anything all day and I got into bed. It had been a horrible afternoon, meltdown after meltdown after meltdown. And I just went, no, I'm going to put a podcast on and I'm going to do my little things. And I did my BAM, I did my 20. And then I just went, I'm going to keep going because it's so simple to get it done.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I ended up getting 3 pre-enrollees that day. So just get it done.
Sarah, will you be my
Awesome,
sister?
Sarah.
Will you be my sister from another Mr.?
Absolutely.
Like oh my God, I have fallen in love with you. Oh my gosh. I think maybe I'm Australian because I want to say you're bloody awesome. Like, I just want to say that all day long. Everyone on here is bloody awesome. Oh, thank you, Sarah. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Everyone give her a round of applause. Absolutely amazing.
Thank you,
so
Sarah.
much, Sarah. All right. Can you pull up the slides, honey? We're
Yes.
going to do this short slideshow every time because we all need it and we're all new. Okay.
Thanks, honey.
Oh, we
Oh.
get to, go ahead.
Oh, the next one. All right,
We
there
get to
go.
do our chant. Everyone unmute yourself. We're going to do it 3 times. This is our little chant of the 2 things we do here in Live Good, and we're silly, but it's okay. We got to get this in our brain, okay? Because we're bloody awesome, okay? So I'm going to say it and you yell it back. What do we do?
Share the membership.
How do we do it?
Take a
Take
tour.
a tour.
What do we do?
Share a membership.
How do we do it?
Take a
Take
tour.
a tour.
Last time, what do we do?
Share the
membership.
How do we do it?
Take
Take
it
a
to
tour.
Okay, we're gonna get this burned in our brain. I
Yes.
love it. All right, next one. So really, in all reality, this is the membership that pays. That's a great phrase to get in your brain too. Everyone knows that they're on a membership. Does Amazon membership pay you? No. Does the Netflix membership pay you? No. Does the Costco membership pay you? No. Does the car wash membership pay you? No. We have a membership that pays. So if you're new, if we're all new here. So everything that you would ever need for our system for success, where we keep it very simple, is in our Facebook group. So when you have someone new, get them in the Facebook group. And what you want to do is you want to go to the guides and you want to tag the person in guide number 1. And what I would say is welcome Susan to the team. Start here and work your way through guides 1 and 2. Really, guides 1 and 2 has everything they need to be successful here. I might also tag them in the 5 to Thrive video. And I might say, view this like mandatory training. Once you get these 5 simple steps down, this is all we do. They're going to be so grateful. I have so many people that say, and I'm grateful that it's helping, but just like, wow, I am not going to complicate this time. I'm not going to complicate it this time. And so that's really exciting.
Think of it like that mandatory human resources video you have to watch when you're in corporate.
But way better.
Yeah.
Okay. So really, really simply, we offer 2 things here. People can grow a business and make money for $40 one time. We all know this, right? That's all we do. And what do? We send them the tour link.
Yep.
So the person that's sending the most, take a tour link, take a tour is what we call it here. It's getting people to take a free tour. That's what you do. LiveGoodTour.com/your username.
Your username.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the other thing we do is we give people a membership where people can join our online superstore where they shop at cost. That's all we're doing. It makes it very simple. Your $9.95 month membership gives you access to premium products at cost.
Yep.
And how do you share that? You're going to share that with your livegood.com/username link.
Yes.
Okay. So that's what we do. That's all we do. We can stop share.
Okay.
And now we get to hear from the boys. The boys are back in town. I feel like we should start singing
Johnny
that,
and
but
the
we're going to
G-Man.
hear from Johnny and the G-Man.
Yep.
And
Aaron was the opening. Aaron was the opening act.
It's true.
Yeah.
This is true. Okay. So first we're going to hear from Garth for a couple minutes,
Okay.
and then we're going to kick it over to Johnny. But I want you to really think about why you're doing Live Good as you listen to these 2 guys pour their hearts into us. So take it away, honey.
So Aaron and I and our family, we have a mantra. I won't share that with you yet, but we have a mantra that we use in all areas of things that we have going on, whatever the kids may have going on, whatever we've got going on, when we've got goals in our family and our life, long-term, short-term. And where this mantra came about was from a job that I did. I'm a civil engineer by day and a project manager. So I was the project manager for, it was the largest locally funded project ever done in Northern Nevada. 6 lanes wide, 5.5 miles long, 13 bridges in total. Tremendous amount of public involvement, environmental issues. It was the last piece of a project that was envisioned 60 years ago. And of course, they always save the hardest part for the last.
And
So
how long did it take to build?
10 years.
10 years. Okay.
It was 10
Zachary
years.
was not born yet. When
Yeah.
this, okay.
This project was my 3rd child. So anyways, as we're evolving construction, obviously we had to get some environmental approval. And the contractor is going and we're going, and we would meet every week, the craft leads, the superintendents, the sub-consultants, and the executive team would meet once a week and talk about what we have going on. So of course, they're always wondering, when are we going to get this big approval? And it was like this chain reaction. Once we got the one approval, the other one, the other one, the other one, we could keep going. And every week I would tell them, I said, well, I reached out to so-and-so and should be this Friday, but I can tell you, we've never been closer. And in the media and in dinner parties we'd go to and walk around town and stuff, I was on the news a lot. So people were always asking me, hey, when are you going to get XYZ? And I'd be like, we've never been closer. We've never been closer. And I never thought about it at the time. It was just kind of my answer of course, we've never been closer, because I knew what was going on behind the scenes. Well, fast forward a few years, and I don't know how it came about to use in our household, but I think it was a previous network marketing company. And the question was like, well, when are we going to reach rank fill in the blank? And one time I just made kind of an offhand comment, well, we've never been closer.
Been closer.
And Aaron was like, oh my God, That's perfect. We've never been closer. We're, one person closer. We're one no closer. We're one yes closer. We're one reach out closer. And we've used this mantra of we've never been closer in everything. We have a goal to get a place in Cabo San Lucas. And so one of the things we talk about is how, where are we at with getting our place in Cabo? Well, we've never been closer.
Never been closer.
Yep. So anyways, I want you as a takeaway to implement that mantra into your life, into your daily actions. Now, and the reason why I say daily actions is not everything you do is going to keep you on the path of never been closer. And here's an example of that. Let's say you have a goal to lose weight. Now, obviously, you could lay on the couch all day long eating mint bonbons. Is that going to allow you to use the mantra of I've never been closer? No. But if you are looking at your couch and the mint bonbons there, and your gym shoes are next to the couch, and you're faced with a decision, which one of those is going to allow you to answer the question of I've never been closer? Of course, putting on your gym shoes and going to the gym is going to allow you to then say, I've never been closer. So as it comes to your LiveGood business, think about that as well. Sarah had a great example of that. If she was at the end of the day, she was tired, it had been a terrible day. She could have easily have said, that's it, I'm done. I'm done. I'm spent. But she didn't. She did her BAM, the bare ass minimum. And once she did that, she could now honestly say to herself, I've never been closer.
What's one of your first goals or big goals? Type it in the chat room. So this is what I love to do. That was amazing, honey. What I love to do is I love to say, run your decisions by your dream first. So the way that I use we've never been closer is quite literally, I ask myself, does this get me closer to Cabo? Does this get me closer to Cabo? That is my litmus test. I know what that means. Mm-hmm. It's not the house, it's what we'll have to create in order to be living in Cabo, right? And then what I want you to do is tie up all of your small behaviors, your seemingly insignificant behaviors, every single reach out, and tie it up in your brain to this gets me closer to Cabo. Look and start saying over and over, look at me getting closer to 10K a month. Look at me building my empire. Look at me leaving my family a legacy. Look at me willing my children a residual income. Look at us living in Cabo. Look at me go, and linking everything up to that. So when will you go diamond? You've never been closer.
Never been closer.
You've never been closer. Thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
All right. So Johnny, I get the pleasure of listening to Johnny's little motivational talks because he just pours life into me. And everyone needs a Johnny in their life. Everyone should be so blessed. And we were talking about just how to build confidence in yourself and how to do that. And I said, will you please train on this? So that's kind of the history of how we got here. So Johnny, take it away.
Oh, thank you. That was beautiful. And Garth, that was perfect. Perfect. I loved every bit of that. I'm going to use that every day. I love it. I love it. Never been closer. And it kind of ties into, this is actually a really good session, I love it. I'm loving it. How do I start this? This is just a short one, but really, really important. Probably one of the most important little messages. Now, I look back at my history in this industry, jumping a few companies and having some ups and downs, whatever. But one of the things that I guess was pretty consistent was I didn't believe in, I really didn't believe. I didn't believe in myself. I think, I had the dreams of that. I wanted that, but I was doing that. You know what I mean? So there was a bit of it was incongruent over the years. And I realized the difference between now and everything else that I've done in the past is what we're going to talk about today. One of the things that we need to make sure, self-trust and keeping promises to yourself is everything. It's everything in this business. How you show up every day is everything. Now, the funny thing is that you might think that, hey, nobody's watching, it doesn't matter, no one's gonna know if I don't do those 10 messages or the 20 messages today. No one's gonna know if I just don't show up to that. No one's gonna care, so it's the little things, it's those little things that make such a massive difference to your business and into life anyway. Now, and it all starts with doing the things that you said you were going to do, right? Having the discipline to show up every day and do the things that you promised yourself, right? Now, what do I mean? Well, when you make a commitment to do anything in your day and you don't do it, you might think nobody else is watching, but guess who's watching? You are, right? So you're the one that takes a hit, your self-esteem takes a hit. You start losing trust with yourself. You start losing belief in you, whether it's deciding to, even Mel Robbins talks about this in one of her videos. Everybody's starting to talk about it, but whether it's getting up to go to the gym, whether it's making those calls, whether it's sending those messages, being on the team Zooms, the training Zooms, anything, being on that training you said you'd be on, right? We sometimes think, hey, nobody's around. It doesn't really matter, right? I'll catch the next one. The problem is that you're around, like I said earlier. You're watching what you're doing. You're listening to what you're saying. And each time you don't keep that little promise that you make to yourself, you're losing self-trust. You really do. You start losing belief in yourself. Your brain starts to say to you, hey, Liz, what's the point? Why even bother showing up when you're not even committed? So that's how you show up. But there's a bigger problem. Success in not only this business, but in anything, it's an internal game. Dr. Erin knows this better than anybody. It's a transfer of energy from you to whoever you're dealing with. So when you're dealing with your prospects and you don't hear back from them after you've had a little bit of communication back and forward, etc. You think, oh my God, yeah, they're pre-enrolled. We're chatting, and then all of a sudden they start to ghost you. There's usually a reason for that. Yes, they're probably busy and all that stuff, and life is crazy. So the follow-up's important, but more often than not, it comes down to the fact that they didn't trust you. Seriously, when I first heard this and internalized it, I cried because I thought, oh my God, I've been wasting my time by not showing up the way I should have. And I know, and how I've been, and the energy that I'm giving out, people can see that. So it comes down to the fact that they didn't trust you. Now, they didn't feel good about doing business with you. Why? Because deep down, maybe you don't feel good about yourself. You don't trust yourself. Why? Because like we said, you didn't show up the way you should have. You didn't keep the little promises you kept to you made to yourself. You lost the self-belief and the confidence, and you're not feeling aligned. And that comes across to the other person. They might feel the energy's not right and they disappear. I've seen it time and time again, even in myself, anytime I haven't shown up. So I can't possibly operate at the right frequency and with that fantastic energy that I need to get yeses from prospects if I'm not showing up correctly. It's really that simple. So you have to keep those promises that you make to yourself. Otherwise, they can see that your energy doesn't come across. And that's been the difference for me in this business compared to anything else. It's got under my skin. It really has. No matter what, and that's why the business has taken on a life of its own, because it started from my energy and my belief so much that I'm messaging Dr. Erin, I'm messaging Kim, I'm messaging whoever, it doesn't matter. And that belief comes across. So keep the promises that you make to yourself. It really is everything. Show up. You can't want the diamond rank and show up as a bronze. You can't. So that's it. Just a short one today, but I reckon that's a pretty cool message. I hope that was valuable.
That was so cool. I'm going to open it up for questions for everyone, but I have a question to start with, Johnny, if I can. How do you become a disciplined person? Because I think so many of us are like, yeah, we want that. We really do. We really want it to work this time. We really, really do want to be that person. How have you grown discipline in your life?
Well, she says me.
Lucy, come on.
Come and show yourself, Lucy. Anyway. You know what? one of the things that I learned from Tony Robbins is you are your habits, you are your disciplines. And I just had to, you know, make a list of things that were non-negotiables that I had to do, that I had to start doing, you know. And if those things are reaching out to 50 people a day or 40 people a day, show up on that Zoom, I just had to create new habits. That's all. And all of a sudden it starts becoming, you know, I got up off the couch, like Sarah said earlier. I don't watch TV anymore. I just don't. Any time that I can, I'm in front of the computer, on the couch, on the phone. So it's just the discipline. I don't know. Look, I scare myself, that I make myself believe that if I don't do these things, you know, time is going to run away from me. And, you know, what happens if I'm, you know, 70 and 75 and look back and say, oh, you know what, I really could have and I should have and I didn't. No. So I just discipline. I just
So
create
my
new habits.
hunch is what Sarah has said. You have your why, what I call on the dashboard of your brain. My hunch is Johnny thinks about his why every day. There isn't a day that I don't think about my why. It's just with me now. And I have this realization that I don't think we have a discipline problem. I think we have a forgetting problem. And what I mean by that is I think we forget our mission. And so we have to get our mission on the front dashboard of our brain, which means we have to, one, figure out what our why is. And we should do another training on that to really understand what your why is, everyone here. And I'm going to give you permission, everyone, to have your why be with you at the beginning. If you have a why about saving the world, you are not going to show up for that. It will keep you going, but it will not. You could start with your why for yourself, and then it will trickle out to your bigger mission. But the biggest, you know, I think it's Les Brown that said, you know, his biggest fear was getting to the end of his life and not fulfilling his potential. That literally is my biggest fear, that I have what Johnny mentioned, and all the successful people have in the world, which is something called mortality motivation. We begin with the end in mind. We know how we don't want this to end up. We know how we do want it to end up. I do not, I want to see if we can do this thing, right? Which means all sorts of things. To me, it means partnering with God and fulfilling my potential on this planet. It's a big deal to me, but it drives me. And so when you find a mission that will pull you, you'll find that you don't need to push, because pushing's exhausting. Okay. And I want you to understand something about discipline. And I think if I had known this at the beginning, I would have gotten there sooner. I would like to think I would have. Johnny mentioned it. It becomes easy. I want you to understand you are not going to have to struggle for the rest of your life to try to be the disciplined person. You will behave your way into being a disciplined person, and it will then be easy for you, because you will no longer have to question yourself all day long. Are you going to be the person that does it? Are you going to do it? Am I going to do it? Your decision fatigue will go away, and you will just be the person that does it. And it is a beautiful way to live. And I want you to understand that easy doesn't mean sleazy. Easy means mastery. It will become easy and fun. I know I'm preaching. Oh my God, I am. I think we can bring sexy back to discipline. I think discipline is where all the freedom is. Okay. So, does anyone have questions for Johnny or anybody, or thoughts?
Or questions?
You think about your why every day, Johnny?
Every single day. And I think about those people that are sitting back, you know, that have been laughing for a bunch of years. That really drives me.
Give yourself permission to show them. Give yourself permission, everyone. Yeah. There's a little bit of us that can be like, we're going to show you. We've got someone in Garth's family who 2 weeks ago said, we've been talking and we think you and Aaron should just stick to what you're good at. So we are on a mission to show them.
Yeah.
So that's okay too. It's not ego. It's just going to be fun. It's just going to be fun. Be like, it's all right.
Yep. And we get to see them in about 5 weeks.
We do. We're like, oh, it's going fine. It's going great.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's okay. Prove it to yourself too.
Yeah.
Nicole's on. You don't need to talk, Nicole, if you don't want, but Nicole is new and she's a dear friend of mine. And she said, for the first time, I'm not going to complicate this. This is the simplest thing I've ever seen. I am not. And I said, Kim and I said, we're going to become millionaires with ease and flow. Can you guys adopt that? Ease and flow. How good, this is a great question to ask yourself. How good can you let this get? How easy can you let this be? I know. What if that's the job at hand?
So
To give up. This is so, because we're all so accustomed to failing in this business. We just are. I know the statistics. Like, what if this can be giggly good?
So one of the things that I think that ease and flow made me think of something that I've seen you transition through in your journey of network marketing, and that is the collecting a no.
Yeah.
Early on, the no's were hard.
Sarah got it when you said you get your worksheet out and it becomes, and I'm not saying people are like a game to me, but it becomes just a game that's neutral. It's like, yes, I got 4 no's. Just give me an answer, because I think winning is collecting a decision. So that changed everything for me. And I want that so much for all of you. But here's what we know about confidence and discipline. You can't think your way there. You have to behave your way there. You have to behave your way into different thinking instead of trying to think your way into different behaving.
Say that again.
And that is a crazy thing for a psychologist to say, but that is what the research shows. You've got to behave your way into thinking differently versus trying to think different. No, you got to go do it. And in the doing, you will grow the confidence. In the doing, you will say, oh my gosh, I enrolled someone and I actually kind of sucked in that prospecting and they still enrolled. Like, you can't absorb this from us. You have to go and do it, and it gets in you, and you'll get where Sarah got, which is like, oh, get me back to my list. Like, this is just fun.
It's like, I've thought about playing a really good game of golf a lot.
You have. Yeah.
But then I have to go do it. And therein lies the challenge.
That's the problem, everybody. Okay. How do you become good at tennis? You would play tennis.
You practice.
How are you going to become exceptional at prospecting? You start prospecting and you do it kind of bad, and then you get good, and then you get great, and then you get like Johnny level. Okay. And you're just like, oh my gosh. So I'm really using the people are tired of MLM to actually as my marketing. You guys, do you understand what we have here? Like, market to that, or like do the Me Too movement. Like, are you tired of network marketing? Me too. Have you been burned? Me too. Have you lost more money than you spent? Me too. Have you been screwed by uplines? Me too. Have you, blah, blah, blah.
Fill in the blank.
Have you been have you quit network marketing? Me too. Have you quit twice? Me too. Like,
twice.
Use it.
4?
Use it. Have you cried yourself to sleep on month end?
Oh.
Me too. Have you gone to therapy over MLM? Me too. Like, let's just go on and on. Yeah, everyone's sick of MLM. And so when someone says, well, is this MLM? And I go, oh my gosh, this is turning the whole industry upside down. Like Susan Armfield said, it's turning an industry that was upside down, right side up. I have used that line so many times. I said, oh my God, it is MLM. And actually I quit MLM last October. So you might wonder what the heck I'm doing here. Well, I'm here because this is so opposite of what we've all done, because we all know and blah, and I just run with it. Use that.
Yeah.
Use people's disdain for MLM to win here. Be bold.
I think so. Nicole,
like, this is a different era we are in.
Yep. Nicole brings up an interesting thing that we've seen too of MLM causing marital issues.
Us too.
And I think one of the big things, like one is, it goes to what you said and what we've trained on before of think different. Everything you know about MLM, flip it upside down. And part of that is, like, I remember with Arbonne with little kids, you would have to go and do It'd be a 2-hour Arbonne party, but it's an hour and a half before to set up, an hour and a half afterwards to close. So you'd end up with these 5-6 hour shows and you'd make $50. So there has been a lot where here it's so much different because of the conversations you're having, the way you grow it, it's completely different. So
People pitch me products now, companies, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I won't go near a product-based company. And they're like, don't you have products? And I'm like, oh, well, you should take a look at my video because it's totally different here. And then they join. Like, I use all of these objections to go with it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I won't go near a product-based company anymore. I've done it 10 times and I failed. That gets them thinking.
Mhm.
They'll start looking like Andrea. Look at Andrea's Zoom box. They'll be like, what? Look at Andrea and Doria's Zoom picture.
So
Connie,
see
can you
that.
see it?
Here, let me
They'll be like, what?
there. I pinned it. I don't know if anybody else can see it, but
God, it's hysterical. Anyone else?
I was going to say,
Oh, go ahead.
and for me, see, I'm proud to tell people that I'm a network marketer. I mean, I was at this restaurant last night.
Right.
I've got this little part-time gig helping out a friend at a restaurant in here in Melbourne. And I was talking to a couple of people last night that they were having a date night, and we're just sitting there chatting. And they said, "Is this your place?" I said, "No, I come and hang out here a couple of nights a week. I do a bit of networking. I've got out of my restaurants 6 years ago. So for me, it's a clever little gig." "Oh, wow, fantastic!" And I said, "What do you do?" I said, "Oh, well, I've got an online thing going on that's taking on a life of its own." And he said, and they were probably in their 40s. And he said, "Oh, what sort of online thing?" I said, "Well, I'm a network marketer." I said, you know about network marketing, right?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, traditionally it's just been blah, blah. And, for the first time, these guys came out with a membership club, and this thing's just developing huge. And, the goal is to grab my wife next year and just travel and build a business and, just have the freedom. Because let me tell you, I've got plenty of friends that are millionaires, and they don't have 5 minutes spare to spend with anything else." And I said, "You've heard about the wheel of life, right? The wheel of life where, you've got all these different parts of your life, health, financial, family. They're focused so much on the financial that everything else has fallen away. They've got no time." And he just looked at her, and she gave me her business card. She said, "Well, you better send me your little video, whatever." So seriously, she's a real estate agent, and they just don't have any time. And I'm just telling everybody about it, seriously. But you need to be confident enough and excited enough. That's why once it gets into your skin, so if your brain thinks this is going to fail, you won't risk it and tell anybody about it. You
True.
just won't. It's everything. It's all here. I believe we're going to build $1 million business, period. I'm taking Lucy next year, and we're going to travel for a few months, end up in Reno, end up in the Greek islands, and film as we're building. Honey, I need an hour. Do some Zooms, whatever. But anyway, I just had to
Yes,
share that.
please.
Just
love it. Anyone else have anything they'd like to share? Any questions? Any thoughts?
Enjoy your Wednesday, Thursday, because we know Thursday is when the pre-enrollees want to get in. So Wednesdays and Thursdays are like month end every week. It's really fun. Reach out. We're all new. Reach out. No questions dumb.
Yeah.
Keep sending the questions. We're all learning this together.
Absolutely. We are
I
all new to
hope,
this.
you have a beautiful night. And thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Sarah. There's Sarah. Thank you, Garth.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. And we'll see you soon.
Good night, all. What a good day.
Bye.
all right, all. Thanks for that. That was fantastic.
You're bloody awesome.
Thank you.
Lucy says
Welcome.
goodbye.
Bye, Lucy.
Bye, Lucy.